So for a really long time, a really, really long time, I was always able to brag about my 25-cent cup of Joe for a really long time, up until a few months back. So when I factored in 024, 025 prices of everything put together, I would say that for me, an at-home cup of Joe runs between 35 to 40 cents, which is still not bad. And I have proof. I have proof, proof, proof. All right, so today we're going to talk about outside prices versus the cost of making whatever it is at home. So let's get started with the price of a cup of coffee. So for me, and I use instant coffee, and I get a deal every time I do it, but not everybody looks for the deal, but I do. So for me, it costs for like about a 10-ounce cup, okay, which is a lot in my opinion. I don't know how people drink those huge, huge cups. Oh my word. Couldn't do it, can't do it. But for me, 10 ounces is beyond enough. Yes, of course, the bird clock. Of course. I hear it loudly, you don't. So I did a search. The average price of a cup of coffee, it's always dependent on where, location, and the kind of coffee and the size of it, but average $3.08, but it can vary, for example, to the location, as I just mentioned. And if you get like an iced coffee or a latte, it could go all the way up to $5.14 to $5.46 versus my cup of coffee for 35 to 40 cents. Okay. Some people want the atmosphere, whatever. If you want to do it as a treat, fine. But my area of contention are for those folks that say they can't save. I can't save. I just don't have it. I can't save. And they never track their expenses. But let's keep this in mind. So anywhere from $3.08 to upward to $5.46 and possibly even more. That's a lot. That's a lot. If you do that 5, 6 times a week, do the math. Do the math. So I asked about a simple ham and cheese sandwich. Just thinking like ham and cheese, right? Ham and cheese. Nothing fancy, right? A simple ham and cheese sandwich in New York City at a deli or a diner can range anywhere between $9 upward to a very high end place. Is sitting or standing? 29 bucks. Okay. Not for me. So I'll make my ham and cheese sandwich on occasion. I figured out all the math and everything and divvied it up, and it came to approximately $3.20. $3.20 versus anywhere between $9 and $29. Okay. I'm not saying they're not delicious. I'm not saying they're not beautiful. I didn't say that. I'm just talking about numbers. All right. Next, back to a diner. At a local diner, okay, I can expect to pay 17 to 20 bucks for a burger and french fries. And that's conservatively speaking. Anywhere between 17 and $20 for a burger and french fries at a local diner. Now, fast food, regular place, typical fast food, talking about $9.52. This is according to my search, and that's on the cheaper end. However, a higher end burger, I didn't even ask for cheese. Goodness knows how much that would be. However, a higher end burger here in New York City on a higher end place could run about 30 bucks. That's just for the burger. Nobody mentioned beverage. Nobody mentioned fries. Nobody mentioned dessert. Yeah. Now, what does it cost me at home to make my own version, for example, of a very, very flat, smashy type of a burger? $3.50 per burger. And I'm including the fries because I'll buy a big old bag of frozen fries and pop it in my air fryer. I know it's not as fun as when you eat it out, but again, I am discussing the price difference for the people that say, but I can't save. I can't save. If people constantly dine out, okay, look at the incredible monies they're paying over and over and over again. But I can't. Please stop saying I can't. Please stop saying it. It's I will not stay home and dine at home because I'd much rather have that thing made for me outside, whatever. Okay. But refrain from saying you can't save. That's don't want to. Those people do not want to, in my honest. All right. Next. Depending on the size, location, and type of cream, we're talking here about a strawberry shortcake. How many people out there viewing enjoy a nice, beautiful strawberry shortcake? I do, I do. Okay. Depending on the size, location, and type of cream, it all matters. A strawberry shortcake could run anywhere between $33. Now, sit down, please. You're going to need to take a breath on this one. $33 to $285. What is there, gold in that strawberry? Although some people do sprinkle gold on their food. I have heard of that. I don't think I'd like that. Anywhere from $33 to $285. But the most common range, this will make you feel a little consolation prize. But the most common range being from only $50 to $80 for a standard 8-inch cake. So confession time, back about 10 years ago, because my mom and I, we shared a birthday at the same week. I'm the 5th and she was the 8th of December. So we were both like, well, what kind of cake do we want to get, this week? Instead of getting 2 cakes, we got one, Although the family brought more over. And one year we had like 4 different cakes on the table. It was really cute. So we both agreed to a strawberry shortcake. Okay. So we went to a wonderful mom and pop place. And this is over a decade ago. And it was for a special birthday, right? And that strawberry shortcake was about over $50, including tax. That was a total treat. Would I ever again pay $50 and beyond for myself for a strawberry shortcake? No. And then what I did a couple of months later, I was craving strawberry shortcake, but my budget did not have another $50 just for strawberry shortcake. Okay, rest assured of that one. So I said, I want to make it from scratch. So I bought yellow cake mix, box cake mix. I got strawberries at a better price because it was springtime. The prices of strawberries were coming down. And I made my own homemade whipped cream. It's not like rocket science to put together strawberry shortcake. Can I tell you something? It was really good. It was really, really good that spring. And my mom had that. She said, this is even better than the one we bought fancy. Right. That's how it worked out. And I know I told the story on a past video. A friend of mine's husband always loved strawberry shortcake. So they were coming over for a visit. So what I did was I took a simple pound cake that was already made and I whipped up some whipping cream and it had some strawberry slices. And that's all I did was decorate it with the cream. In the center, I cut it across, put cream and thinly sliced strawberries, more cream to cover the external part of the loaf cake. It looked so cute. And I half the slices into like strawberry half slices around it. It looked gorgeous. And the whole thing was assembled in a matter of minutes. So when they came over and I made some coffee, they used to love coffee, I pulled out that strawberry shortcake. They were like, whoa, where did you get that? Where did I get that? All I did was assemble it. So that's a fast idea for anybody interested in making a quick strawberry shortcake without baking. No bake. And it costs a lot less than $33 to $285. What is on that $285 cake? I'm not saying it's not good. I'm sure it's great. Apple pie in New York City. An apple pie, an 8 to 10-inch apple pie can run anywhere between $29 and $38. Considering every other price I mentioned, that sounds pretty reasonable. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm sure it's a fancy one. And quiche could be probably running maybe a little more than that, but quiche is so simple to make. Apple pie is easy to make, easiest pie once you get over the fear of the crust. And if you do fear doing the crust, just buy the ready-made crust, the kind that no roll, just take it out of the thing and just place it in the pie plate and bake it with your apples. No biggie there. It's not going to cost you $29 to $38. Okay. So the cost to have that at home, to make one at home, was like $6. And the cost for me when I prepared my strawberry shortcake was $7. Heck of a lot cheaper than 50 plus. Let me see. So I think we did very, very well. This is just an example. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with buying special treats, like that one time that we did that, my mom and I, a very special cake for that special year. I'm glad we did. I really am. But I'm also glad that a few months later, when it was springtime, I made my own from scratch, using the help of box cake mix, of course. It was so fast, it was so easy, and more importantly, it was so delicious. As an added treat, I forgot to mention on that homemade cake, what I did do was I had some strawberry preserves. I put a thin layer of the preserves on the center layer and put some real fresh whipped cream above that. Wow, was that a nice pop of flavor in between the layers? No $50, no $85, and no $285 for that cake, but it certainly was good. So the next time people are inclined to say they can't afford to save, they can't save. No, no, can't. Track your spending habits and see. Usually the money is right under our own nose. There you go. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I love these 5 a.m. uploads, and I'm so glad I'm getting a positive response back because it's 5 o'clock on the dot every single day of the year. Yes, even Christmas. Well, you do know that I tape ahead of time anyway, so it works out just well. Just pretty old, darn good. Anyway, have a great day. Take good care of yourself and your amazing family. On Sunday, I have a shorter video coming up, about 6 minutes, and it talks about vanilla pudding. What I didn't need to do with it. What? Those like vanilla pudding, the instant one. There's something that I did not need to do with it. That'll be up on Sunday morning, meaning tomorrow at 5 a.m. Thank you for sharing my video. Thank you for being you. Have a great day. Let's hope that this closes the right way. We'll find out. We're going